Hi class, today I'm going to talk to you about your digital story project. And what I want to talk specifically about is the issue of copyright. So what we're looking at in front of us is the rubric that I'll be using to grade your work. So let's just take a look. The first thing I'm looking at would be the content, which I think is pretty obvious, age appropriate. We need to have a minimum of 5 pages. I'd like you to use the 3 coaches that are a part of the program that's CAST is offering in Book Builder, and you could read all about that by checking out the reading strategies. I have a link right there in the rubric. I'd also like you to use the vocabulary that comes with it, the vocabulary builder. But let me just skip illustrations for a second, getting to presentation. I think that's obvious that the books are carefully proofread for correct grammar, spelling, punctuation, etc., and appropriate font size for the grade level. But let's talk now about the illustrations. Over here you'll see no copyright violation. And to cite your sources on the last page. That doesn't mean that you could go over to Google Images and choose any picture that you want and just copy the URL for the image and think you're done. No, because what I'm going to be demonstrating to you is just because something is on Google Images does not mean that it is not violating copyright. So what I'm going to do now is open up a browser, and I'm going to type in Google, although I could have done the Google search, that's okay. And now what I want to do is click on Images. Okay, so let's make believe that I want to write a story about owls. So I'm going to type in owls and search to see what kind of images there are of owls. And there's quite a few. So I'm going to go down and see if there's anything that catches my eye. There are so many to select, so many to choose from. So many wonderful owls here. Oh, these are pretty. I'm going to click on this one. Okay, now, the first thing I want to point out to you is you will see when you use Google Images, images may be subject to copyright. This is something new. They haven't had this in the past, and the reason why they now have it is that Google, by not writing this, was giving the impression that people could use any image that they want. So how can we find out if we're violating copyright? I'm going to click on Visit Page. That's what you need to do. You have to do a little bit of investigation. So we're going to visit the page. Such a nice graphic. I hope I could use it. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the bottom of the page and see what it says. Uh-oh, here we go. Protected by Copyscape. Do not copy. All content copyrighted in 2011 to 12, no, can't use it. Now, if you would like to use it, even though it's specifically saying you can't copy anything, what you can do is you could email these people and ask if you could use it for educational purposes. Okay, now, the next thing I'm going to do is another Google search, because before I started this tutorial, I did my own research, and I found something interesting. There's a website called Archive Owls. Okay, here we go. What I actually did was a search before, and I found this owl, which I thought was so beautiful, this barn owl, and I said, oh wow, this would be a great one to use in a digital story. But right away I could see that this is copyright. I mean, it's right here on the picture. And I have to tell you, I've had students in the past who have used pictures where there was a copyright right on there, and they just, the last page of their story, they just cited the source and thought it would be fine. Well, it wasn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the bottom over here and found something very interesting. Terms and conditions of use of materials. Teachers, lecturers, students may incorporate the materials in their educational material, including but not limited to their lesson plans, presentations, worksheets, and projects in hard copy and digital format, etc., etc. So here's a situation where there was so much copyright, but it's letting us know that it can be used for education, which is fair use. So what you need to do is, and they're going on and on, any other use, if you want to use it and you're not an educator, what do you need to do? Simply go to the page, scroll down to the bottom, and do a little bit of reading. And if you do that, there won't be a problem. You'll know whether or not you are violating copyright. So my suggestion to you really would be to use it, if possible, and now you're looking at my desktop. Wow, what a mess that is. Okay. But use a picture. If you could take your own photographs, that would be ideal. Then you don't have to worry about it. But the other thing you could do is you could find graphics that will not violate copyright, and if you do a search like this, a Google search where I'm looking for royalty-free owl images. So if I do that right away, I'm going to come up with a whole bunch of ways of finding images where you won't have a problem. So over here we have Shutterstock, and you could buy or you could use some that are royalty free. So you could see royalty free stock images. Now sometimes those images could be used and they might have a little logo or something on there, and then if you want to get rid of that you have to buy it. But there are plenty of ways that you can find graphics and not have to worry about copyright infringement. So I hope this clears up any questions that you had about how you're going to be graded on your digital stories. Enjoy.